Hello everyone, my name is Carlos Sanchez and today I'm going to talk about the water risk. Water risk is the risk nobody talks about. It seems that when we have water available and cheap, nobody cares. And when it's missing, everybody panics. Population growth, climate change, and industrialization are putting at risk the socio-economic development of the world, the production of food and energy, and they are putting at risk ecosystems and even the human survival itself. Besides, water is required for our companies. We use water in our agricultural supply chain. We use water embedded in the production of the raw materials that we are sourcing. And besides, we need water to run our factories. The traditional approach to solve water crisis has been to do water management. Water management consists traditionally in measuring the water consumption, in setting global targets, and also to make sure that we don't contaminate and pollute the water that we discharge. While this approach is extremely important, this will not suffice to fix the problem we have in the world with the water risks. Water management is not enough because of three reasons. First is because solving the water crisis requires a combined action. If we imagine the water in the world, we can imagine a bucket full of holes where each of the holes represents the consumption of each of us or each of our companies. Traditionally, we've been trying to solve the problem of the water just by focusing on reducing the amount of water that our hole was leaking. But this will not suffice because the bucket will still be leaking even if we even close our hole. Second is because the efficiency of our water investments in our factories and offices diminishes over time. So after we reach certain point, the amount of water that we save per dollar that we invest in our factories will not provide enough resources than if we invest this water in a community outside our factories. Second is that water risks are global risks that need to be solved locally. Local regulations and reputations changes and needs to be addressed locally. As an example, last year, a famous beverage company saw how its license got revoked by the local government after a serious drought and further protests that happened in that area. Third is that water crisis is not only about water scarcity. Water scarcity is one of the major water problems in the world. But we have, with climate change, increasing problems with floodings and also with water pollution and access to water and sanitation and hygiene for the communities around our factories and operations. So what is the solution? The solution is to become a water steward in your watershed. Let me give you a brief definition about these two concepts. Watershed is the water collected by the landscape and then discharged. On the other hand, become a water steward means taking care of water that you don't own. Since 2014, there is a standard called Alliance for Water Stewardship that allows you to become a water steward in your watershed. The Alliance for Water Stewardship is an organization that is composed by leading companies, by NGOs, by public agencies, and by academic institutions, which aim to allow the socially, economically, and environmental use of water. The AWS seeks to achieve 5 water stewardship principles. First is good governance on the watersheds. Second is good water balance. Third, good quality of water. Fourth, the protection of important water-related areas. And fifth one is the water and sanitation and hygiene of these populations around the factories. I recommend you to visit the Alliance for Water Stewardship webpage for more information and to subscribe to one of the online courses. As a conclusion, water risk is one of the biggest risks as highlighted by the World Economic Forum. The traditional approach of water management is not enough because the water risk involves collective action, requires to act locally, and also is not only about water scarcity. The solution is to become a water stewardship, and the Alliance for Water Stewardship is a standard that is becoming extremely popular. Going from water management to water stewardship is a long trip, but as a Chinese proverb says, a trip of 1,000 miles starts with a first step. If you like the video, share it, subscribe to my channel, and go to carlossanchez.eco for more articles. Thank you very much.